Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is going to be another installment into my 1952 top set, which I'm working on. We're going to start things off by trying to complete this first page. And the fourth card in this set is none other than this Don Lenhardt card. Don Lenhardt played for the Red Sox and he was pretty decent. Oops. Well, as you can tell by the stats here, by getting 15 home runs while batting 265, 63 runs batted in. This man was getting a chance in 1952 to take over for Ted Williams, who was called back to the Korean War. And after starting off hot with a 295 average with 7 home runs, he was included into a 9-player deal, which brought back players from the Tigers, namely George Kell and Dizzy Trout. This man struggled when he went to the Tigers, unfortunately, and he sucked after that. And then he was quickly included in an 8-player deal to the Browns, which is dubbed the highest waiver wire deal in the history of the sport. Let's move on from Don Lenhardt. And next I have Johnny Wyrostek, or Wyrostek. This is a beautiful card. I love the image of Johnny there. And this man, he was pretty good. He batted .332 by the All-Star break that year, 1952. The year before that, he batted .311. But unfortunately, he couldn't cap off his 52 year after the All-Star break with a great year because he bruised his middle finger early in August, and that killed his average. He batted .264 the rest of the way, but at least he ended up with a .311 average. Oh, that was actually in 51. But that was like his best year. And this is card number 13. So let's flip over a few pages here and get him into card number 13 slot. Which I believe is this one right here. So next up, I have card number 16 here to finish off this page, and that is of none other than Gil Hermanski with a beautiful backdrop here. I love this landscape card as he's taking a cut. He's playing for the Cubs here, but this man was mainly known for playing for the Dodgers as he helped them to 2 World Series in 47 and 49. But 2 things he was noted for was for his show of solidarity, as he suggested everyone on the team should wear number 42 on the field to confuse snipers who were said to be out to kill Robinson for breaking the color barrier. And he was shortly traded after to the Cubs afterwards to bring back Andy Pafko to the Dodgers in a 9-player deal. So that's Gil Hermanski. Next up, I have this card number 24 of Luke Easter. No one really knew how old Luke Easter really was, as he held out that information in order to be signed during the integration of the league. He was actually older than what he would let on to believe, but they didn't care because this man was so powerful and strong. They would usually come out during batting practice to see him hit some titanic blasts. Back in the days, only rivaled by players like Stan Musial, Ted Williams, and Ernie Lombardi at the time. He was really good, to tell you the truth. It's only left to the imagination of what things could have been for him in a career if he would have started at an early age of like 22 or 23, because this man could have been like Aaron Judge before Aaron Judge. That is Luke Easter. Love this one in a 5. Beautiful card. The Indians emblazoned there. Definitely one of my favorite cards in the set. Let's put them here. And then my next card is going to be an upgrade. So I upgrade these whenever I get a chance. So pick this one up in a lot, and it was able to check off a name Now it's high time I put a better card in its place. So I'll sell this one off, and then this one's gonna make the set a little bit more, I guess, appropriate in a 3 to a 4 grade. I'll swap out this card sleeve, card saver 1 when I get a chance. But that's a better looking Sam the Jethro. And next up, I have this Hall of Fame card of Gil Hodges. Love this landscape card, even though it's a little plain with the peach background, but it's a very unique color that they use for the peach. You can see it with the Dodgers name there. It's a black back. In 52 and 53, the Dodgers won back-to-back pennants with the help of Gil Hodges. But unfortunately in 52, he went hitless in the World Series, 0 for 21 in 26 at-bats, which carried over into the 53 season. And he was so beloved that he was the only player that the fans could not find themselves to boo, as they started to root this guy on to the point where they started giving him rosary beads to try to give him good luck, Missoula's, they used to give scapulas, lucky rabbit's foots, everyone trying to help him get past that slump in 53. So that goes to show you how beloved this player was. And this is number 36. Let's put him in the right spot here. Next up, let's get this player, Bob Mahoney. It's a beautiful card of Bob. His eyes look a little bug-eyed there. There's not much to say about Bob Mahoney, as he was mainly and had a few stints in the majors. He was a reliever. He started a few games and came up mainly in mop-up roles. Played for the Browns. This is card number 58. Next up, I have Virgil Stallcup. Beautiful landscape card again. Fortunately, Virgil Stallcup wasn't like a big player, but he was a nice shortstop who played for the Reds. He was a light hitter who twice hit for 8 home runs, as you could tell. 1951 is encapsulated there as one of his better years. That's card number 69. And after him, I have Tom Upton, who never hit well enough to stick around long enough in the majors. He was often sent down to the minors or included in trades as a major leaguer. And he played for Washington, as you could tell. Look at that low average, 198. Right now, that would be a decent average in the majors, I think. So, next up after Tom Upton, we have Carl Olson, who played for the Red Sox in 51. Unfortunately, in 51, this man was considered one of the hottest prospects in the Red Sox organization. But right when he was about to get called up, he was inducted to serve his country in the Korean War. He served for 2 years, but unfortunately he came back a little out of weight and out of shape and never lived up to the hype and the billing that he had in the minor leagues coming up. So that's unfortunate for Carl Olson. And next up, I have another upgrade here, which I have to put in. That's card number 87. Let's put that in its place. So this one looks really nice, but it does have that smidge of paper loss, which would probably not allow that to be better than a 1. So this one is pretty decent. And I'll just sell off the one with the little smidge of paper loss. Now after that, we got another Hall of Famer, and that is another one that I love with this red Schoendienst landscape card, looking very stoic with that brown washed background. What a beautiful card in the 52 set. 1952 would mark the first of 7 300 average seasons. As you could tell in the back there, he batted 289 the year before, but he was on the way up, man. 7 straight seasons of 300 average, the highest of which would come in 1953, the following year, in which he batted 342. Red would rarely strike out and was one of the best second basemen of his era, and he ended up with 2,449 hits. So this is card number 91. That's Red Schoendienst. Let's get him in his proper spot here. Next up, we have Owen Friend, who played for the St. Louis Browns, with another nice landscape card. He was a light-hitting second baseman who served in the Korean War in the early 50s. Ironically, he's following Red Schoendienst, who he shared equally in position and nicknames with Red. That was his nickname coming up, Red Friend. So Red Schoendienst, Red Friend. But we got him at 160, so he's not next to Red Schoendienst. And following him, I have Billy Martin. I love this card of Billy, especially since I was a Yankee fan. I remember him growing up for always being in the media. Now, Billy Martin was known for being a fiery manager and competitor, and this was further illustrated in 1952, in which he fought with Jim Pearsall under the grandstand at Fenway Park, and a few weeks later with catcher Clint Courtney, to which the local newspapers referred to Martin as One Round because of his hot temper and the way he always got into scuffles with people. So a lot of people remember him with Reggie Jackson, and it's just something that was in his nature to, I guess, prove his point, and he'd never back down from anyone. Next up, I have Joe Hatten, whose best days came in the late 40s with the Dodgers, namely in 47, in which he pitched to a 17-8 record. Fortunately, over here, it's encapsulating a rough year, 3-6, but with a 4.90 ERA. But in 47, he went to a 17-8 record, including 2 of those wins coming in a doubleheader in which he pitched a complete game win in the opener and then held the Reds to 1 hit over the final 5 2/3 in the nightcap. Imagine something like that happening today. We'll never see something like that. It's card number 194. Next up, I have Matt Batts, who actually sounds like a character in a gangster movie. I can envision Matt Batts going to put the whack out on Nicky No-Nos over there. But in all seriousness, this guy, he played in 51 to batting average with 285, which was a good season for him. But he'll always say that 51, his greatest crowning achievement was to be able to catch Satchel Paige, which was one of the highlights and privileges of his career. And that was in 51. That's card number 230. Next up, I have a manager card of the Chicago White Sox, Paul Richards, who is one of the most celebrated managers who never won a pennant. He took on seemingly hopeless building jobs in Chicago, Baltimore, and Houston, and succeeded every time in laying a foundation for the club's future success. He developed young stars including Brooks Robinson, Joe Morgan, Rusty Staub, Billy Pierce, Nellie Fox, and Minnie Minoso. Some of his innovations were decades ahead of his peers, as he calculated on-base percentages before that statistic ever was named, and he called it batting average with bases on balls. And he was one of the first managers to ever enforce pitch counts to protect young arms, and invented a huge catcher's mitt to be able to handle knuckleball pitchers. That's Paul Richards, who is an innovator and way ahead of his time. So this is card number 305, which is one of the last few cards in the semi-high number series. And I have one last card, which I'm going to share. Let's put this one, let's put this one here for now until I get it all sorted out. And then the last one I'm going to share is one of my pride and joys in the set. And that is none other than Jackie Robinson here. And I don't know if there's anything for me to say about this man. There's movies and so many stories about him. And it's just, I'm going to probably botch up anything I try to say. The only thing I could say is a fun fact. Not only was he the first black player in the history of the sport, but he was also the first black sports analyst in 1965, I believe it was, where he was broadcasting on ABC as a commentator. So he broke 2 barriers, and that's Jackie Robinson, who is number 42 forever in baseball, and a legend. And I love this card. I picked it up at the National. I just love the reds here. And even though it's a 2, it presents so beautifully without a crease or anything. And it's just a beautiful card that I was able to pick up for what I think looks like a 4. But yeah, that'll put an end on this episode of my 1952 sets. I ended it with the hammer there, big pickup in the set. That's probably the second most valuable card in the set after Mickey Mantle. And I will try to bring you a future installment a lot quicker and share with you where my progress is a little bit more. But until then, I'm going to wish everyone happy hunting when it comes to cards. I want everyone to stay safe, be blessed, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.